teens, are you ready for this month's grab and go at the library? We're in chilly February, so what better than to make some hot cocoa bombs? You can stop by the library while supplies last and pick up all the supplies you need to make at least one hot cocoa bomb, and keep watching to learn how to make them. So before we officially get started, you're gonna wanna grab a few things. You're gonna want a bowl for your chocolate chips. You're gonna want 2 plates, one that can go in the microwave and one that can go in the freezer that will fit about two halves of your cocoa bombs on them, so they can sit on there in the freezer. Go ahead and put one in the freezer, that way it can go ahead and start getting cold. The other one we're just gonna set to the side. To start, you wanna put chocolate chips in your bowl. I have already melted mine. Put them in the bowl and put them in the microwave 30 seconds at a time. The first time it may not seem like it did anything, pull it out, stir them up every 30 seconds. It shouldn't take more than 1 minute and 30 seconds. If it does, don't worry about it. Maybe do it every 15 seconds then. But you don't want to overheat them. So I've got mine done and I've got my chocolate. So I am using I am using a different form than you guys. I actually make mine slightly differently, but the general way of how to first put them together is gonna work exactly the same, and that's how I'm gonna show you guys. So you want a spoon for your chocolate. We're gonna grab our spoon and we're just gonna spoon some in. Whew. Okay, there we go. We are gonna spoon some in to one of our circles, and what you wanna do, I'm gonna do my best to show you guys, is you wanna push it up against the sides. Let's see if I can get in here. Here we go. You wanna push it up against the sides to create your barrier. You don't worry about making it too thick, in all honesty, because you don't want it to be too thin. Because if it's too thin, when we take them out of the freezer later, it's just going to fall apart. However, because at that point it's just chocolate, if it does happen to fall apart or you see some light coming through it, you can literally break it up, reheat the chocolate, and redo this part. So you want to do the entire circle here. I kept trying to find a good angle to show you guys what I was doing. So you want to keep going until you can't see any light coming through. So you kind of want to look through. And like I said, if you're not sure, call it good. We'll put it in the freezer. I'm going to continue walking you through. And when we pull it out, if it is too thin, especially if it just breaks apart, just do it again. It honestly takes a lot of practice. I have tried this so many times. I have a couple of friends. I have a friend who's a foods teacher who has lent me her molds to let me make some. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other one. I should stop and say, I believe you guys are getting 2 molds. You should have 2 circles from the way that I was told. If for any reason you do have one, make 1/2, keep it in the freezer, which is what I'm actually gonna have you do for part of the time later. I'll walk you through. I'm gonna continue to walk you guys through. You'll understand what I mean later. And make your other side, and it'll stay in perfect condition from the freezer. So you're basically painting them. It's awkward from this angle for me. So you want to use the outside of your spoon, the rounded area. That makes it a whole lot easier. You could possibly, if you have, I'm not sure, I have one in my kitchen, and I'm not sure what it's called. It almost looks like a paintbrush. Your parents will know what it is, and that might work. I have just always found a spoon works the best. And you want to make sure you have a thick top, because that is what is going to help stay together keep your entire thing together. So what we're gonna do once you're happy with it, and honestly, just eventually just say, I'm gonna be happy with it. We're gonna put it in the freezer for exactly 12 minutes. So we'll be back really quickly. Now when the 12-minute timer goes off, let them sit in there for a minute, or when it's about ready to turn off, maybe 30 seconds before, grab your plate that you are gonna put in the microwave. Trust me, you wanna do this. This helps out so much. It's actually not something I did until this past week, and I've been making cocoa bombs on and off for fun for a while now. So I'm using, it's a breakable plate for me. Do not use a plastic plate. You don't want to put those in the microwave. Ask your parents what might be the best plate and go with that. So we're gonna take this plate. I'm gonna put mine in the microwave for 45 seconds. That's what I found works best for me. You want it to be warm to the touch, but you don't want it to be hot. You don't want to overheat the plate. So go do that really quick. Now, because I'm not using the same type of mold as you guys, I am going to show you how to take the chocolate out of the mold. It was actually extremely easy. So go ahead and get your chocolate out of the freezer. And I made a small one in my little heart mold here. And you're literally just going to peel the side off, and it should pop right out. It really should be that easy. Like I said though, so I hold mine up. You can see on the bottom, it's super thin. If your circle happens to be this way, I would go ahead and just start over. Just go ahead and start the video over, or pause, do everything again. Honestly, like I said, I had to do this a lot when I first got started. So go ahead and take your circles out. And what you're gonna do is, I would put them on that frozen plate, that plate I had you put in the freezer earlier, or you should have. If not, go ahead and grab a plate, and as you get your circles out, go ahead and put them on the plate and put them in the freezer for a little bit. It's not gonna do anything to the chocolate, it's actually gonna help a little bit. I would do it for maybe a few minutes. I already got mine on here. So I've got my hot plate, I've got my circles here. I'm gonna flip these over, and what you wanna do is decide which one's gonna be top, which one's gonna be the bottom. It really doesn't matter. Take the one that's gonna be the bottom, and you wanna kind of, and the reason why I put these in the freezer, by the way, is so that now you can handle them a little easier. You still wanna be careful how much, because the more they're out of the freezer, the more it's gonna take your fingerprints. I think from earlier, you might be able to see, I'm not sure from the light, I don't think I'll be able to get it easily. You can see some fingerprints from where I handled it earlier. That's why you wanna be careful. Now you could put one back in the freezer while you're working, and that is completely up to you. I find this easier. Take the one that's gonna be the bottom, it doesn't matter which one in all honesty. We're gonna put it on the one that was in the microwave for a few seconds, and we're just gonna kind of press down so that it's gonna create just slightly. It's gonna create a little indent so that it will sit still. It won't move around like a circle does. You wanna put it back on the one that was in the freezer, because now it's gonna solidify. So now it's solidified on me. It's not all runny now like it would have if it stayed on the hot plate, okay? So you wanna take that one, and you're gonna take your hot chocolate. I have a hot chocolate mix I'm gonna use. And you're gonna just pour the hot chocolate in. Now, you could also add extra things. You could add mini marshmallows. You could add sprinkles, or pieces of mint. Whatever you would like to add to go along with your hot chocolate. Now, we're gonna push this up front. We have our hot plate. We are gonna take our other half. We're gonna flip it upside down and press it down just enough. You're gonna start to see it melt on the top, okay? You can see it on there. You don't want too much. It's starting to get too much on mine. And then we're just gonna set it right on top. Now, it may not be a perfect fit. It's not always going to be, and it may not come together perfectly. You can see there's a little opening here on mine. It takes a lot of practice. Now, I have leftover in here. Now, I'm gonna make more when I'm done. You should have at least a little bit left in here, in all honesty. Take your spoon. You could even take a completely different spoon, or you could use your finger and put it along the side here. I have yet to find a full safe way to get it to just stick together. I've watched so many other YouTube videos and people how to do it. There's so many other videos on YouTube, guys, but these are so much fun to make, and I really enjoy doing them. And as long as you're not licking your fingers while you're doing this, I'm sure your family will be happy to eat your not so perfect looking Cocoa Bomb. You could take your fingers, like I said, I haven't been licking mine, and you could smooth it out a bit more. That's up to you. Now you could also, if you want, you could get some white chocolate chips and you could drizzle some on the top, or you could put some food coloring in. You could add some sprinkles on top. And now we have our Cocoa Bomb. Now what you're gonna want to do next is obviously put in a cup that is big enough to hold this, and in a separate cup, a separate mug, heat up some milk. I promise, milk is gonna be better than water. While a lot of people will use water with the hot cocoa mixes, you're gonna want milk, especially because we used regular chocolate on the outside. Heat up the milk so that it is hot. Even if you don't like hot drinks, once it all comes together, you can let it sit for a little bit to let it warm up. Put an ice cube in it, put it in the fridge for just a little bit to warm it up. But you're gonna want hot milk, I promise. Heat up the milk, and then very slowly, so slowly, pour it over the hot Cocoa Bomb and watch it pop open. So all the supplies that you guys could need are available at the library. First come, first serve for our teens. We hope you guys have fun doing these. We would love to see videos or pictures of you guys making the hot Cocoa Bombs. Let us know how it goes. Trust me, I understand any frustrations if you're like, this isn't working. Keep trying. I want to see how well things turn out. Please tag us in your pictures. Let us know how it goes. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.